The playoff field is, we're heading towards the NFL playoffs. Baltimore's a prohibitive favorite. Do you see anyone in the AFC being able to contend with them?
Yeah, I think Kansas City's a very good team offensively. They don't run the ball, which concerns me. In the playoffs, you got to run the ball, stop the run. But the defense seems to be turning the corner. They got some pass rushers up front. Yeah, they've had some injuries, and they had a guy, they had Terrell Suggs. I don't know how much he's got left. But I like the way they play behind Mahomes. And I always like the guy who's nobody's talking about. Everyone's talking about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Have you heard much about Patrick Mahomes? He's almost been as good this year as last year when he was the greatest quarterback that ever played the game, or so we were led to believe.
Yeah, and the defense is making a difference. Do you believe in the whole thing that defense wins championships?
I always thought that was the case. When we get towards the end of the season, it always seems to be that way, right? There are those teams, and it's the same in the NHL playoffs, those teams that you don't talk about in the middle of the year all of a sudden start playing grittier and boom. But to answer your initial question, there are 3 teams out of the AFC that can stop Baltimore. New England, Buffalo, and if Pittsburgh makes it in, Pittsburgh. The 2 losses that Baltimore has pulled down this season, right? It's divisional losses. There's something about when Baltimore sees a team again, can they continue to do what they did? I think because Buffalo's seen them, I think because New England's seen them, and I think, again, if Pittsburgh makes it in, because they've seen them, there are things you can do to stop Lamar Jackson that you weren't expecting the first time
That's
around.
a nice company to put the Bills in.
Sure, but the Bills almost did it in the first place.
Yeah, it's legit. The 3 problems there is, I don't know that any of those 3 teams can score with Baltimore if they get going. And that's why I like Kansas City, because Kansas City can change the way Baltimore plays. Mahomes comes out, scores a couple quick touchdowns. All of a sudden, Baltimore's got to change what they do a little bit. Can Lamar Jackson do that?
I think the difference there would be this. When Kansas City starts scoring the way they do, other teams feel they have to do the exact same thing.
Yes.
We're going to get in a boat race, and that's where the problem shows up. Baltimore isn't a quick score kind of team. They're going to take their time. They milk the clock. They move up and down the field. Could that throw Kansas City off of their offensive pace, and could that benefit the Ravens?
How about the other side? I would have said San Francisco a couple of weeks ago. Right now, heading into the stretch, they were the 5 seed.
Yeah, not that San Francisco was a pretender, but I never thought San Francisco was as good as San Francisco is. It's always hard for me to pick against Seattle coming out of the NFC every year because they're a legitimate, complete team, and that defense looks like it's recovered from where it had stumbled a couple of years ago. We were talking about quarterbacks you would want on the line. Is there somebody better than Russell Wilson in the league right now when it comes to knowing what he does, having the physical ability to do it, and trusting the guys that are on his team? I like Seattle.
I like a guy who can do it almost as well as Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. I know he's 40, and I know I was talking about this last week when he set the record, that he's almost underrated career-wise. When you look at everything he's done and how well he continues to play, now they've got a very good defense in New Orleans. Kamara and Murray run the ball really well. I think they have a chance to go a long way if they can avoid the crazy ending that they've had the last couple of years in the playoffs.
That's interesting. The NFL, because they're not like market dependent when you get to the Super Bowl like the World Series is, where you need ratings and all the rest of the stuff. I think the game that everyone would love to see would be Baltimore and Seattle. Putting those teams of the way they play the game together in the Super Bowl would just be wonderful.
I personally would like to see Buffalo play.
Yeah, Buffalo with Kenny Stabler as quarterback. That would be my pick,
With Ryan backing him up.
Jim Kelly just got mad at you, by the way.